I hope you're having a good week. Today, it is beautiful outside. It feels like spring. So praise the Lord for lovely weather. And if I sound kind of froggy, my voice is, my throat is like having issues. So sorry about that if I sound like a frog. But I think I said before in my last video, I haven't videoed recently. And I don't know that anybody has noticed because it's not like I have a grand following. But I would definitely say that I do want to post more videos, but it's been difficult because, I've had a baby. I can find time to do it. But the other reason is because life has been difficult, and I find it hard to try to be encouraging when I'm having a really hard time myself. I'm just going to name a few things. Some of you might know, some of you might not, but my dad has liver cancer, and we really don't know how much longer he has. And so it's really hard, and it's difficult, like watching that process of, getting weaker. And I'm really close to my dad, and so thinking about losing him and, not having my son know him, it's been really hard. But I do thank God that we've had time to know this and to be able to focus on spending more time with my dad and to tell him how much we appreciate him. But still, it hurts. It's one of those things where it's like an underlying sadness that just never goes away. Also, another thing, I have stopped going to the church that I had been going to for 7 years. And I've transitioned to going to my husband's church because we came from two separate churches, and we've been going to both of them actually for the past year and a half since we got married. And it's really difficult. He likes his church and I like my church, and neither of us want to leave. But we came to a point where I was just like, you know what, we can't keep on doing this. And I realized in order to honor God and honor my husband, I need to just go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to follow you. I'm going to go to your church, even though it's really tough for me to let go of my church. I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to just go with you, and we're just going to go to his church. So that decision is tough, and the people there are very nice, and I appreciate them welcoming me, but it's going to be a journey for me to feel comfortable there. There are just a few other things that are just really difficult right now, and I have had a hard time trying to be an encouragement when I myself am just hurting, and I feel like I sometimes am drowning in this big hole of sadness and depression. So I've just been really struggling, and I feel like I haven't been following God like I should be because I'm trying to push the pain away, that I'm also pushing God away, and I'm not letting him comfort me. And the other day, I was praying, and I was just asking God, what are you doing? I feel like you're ripping me apart. Like, everything in me just feels like it's just being ripped apart. And I've had a hard time knowing how to deal with the pain and just hurting. And so the other day, I just went to God, and I just decided, I need to focus on God again and really push into my relationship with him, because I don't want to push him away just because I'm trying to push the pain away. And a few weeks ago, my son had a cold, and I don't like really giving him medicine, but it got bad enough to where he couldn't breathe through his nose. So he was really miserable. So trying to feed him doesn't work very well because he couldn't breathe through his nose while eating. So he was constantly choking and crying, and it was so sad. So I took him to the doctor, and she prescribed him some medicine, and so I had to give it to him for 7 days. And the one medicine, it smelled good. It smelled like strawberry, and he took that just fine. But the second one smelled like that nasty cherry, it's disgusting. And it was like torture giving it to him. He would throw his head back, he would scream, he would squirm, it would go all over the place. I would like feed it to him. I have this little syringe, that you feed it to him. And as soon as a little bit would go in his mouth, he'd spit it back out. And I was like, oh my word, like I need to give this to you. And for 7 days, I had to do that. And, about the 3rd day when I started filling up the little syringes to give him, I don't know if any of you are parents or specifically moms, you might understand this. My heart just started hurting as soon as I started filling up these little syringes because I'm like, oh my word, I have to give this to him. I know it's good for him. He's got to get better. And this medicine is going to help him get better. I don't like him being so sick because he's miserable. But I also hate giving him this medicine that makes him really mad and sad, and he hates it, and he gets that look. He just looks at me like, Mom, what are you doing to me? And so, like, my heart starts hurting as I fill up these syringes. I go to give it to him, and I'm like, I know, this is good for you, but I'm really sorry. And, I don't know, something about being a parent can help you see God in a different way than before you were a parent. Because when I was praying and I was seeking God and I was saying, God, I'm hurting. And because I'm focusing on some of these things, like I am legitimately miserable and depressed, like deep depression and spiritual attack, and I just feel so miserable and I can't get out. And I don't know where you are and why you're allowing all this pain and these things that in and of themselves aren't necessarily super good, but God's allowing them in my life and he's allowing them for a reason. So I asked him, what are you doing to me? And like, how are you able to just let this happen? And as I sat there and God started talking to me, he said, as a parent, sometimes you have to do things that your child doesn't like, but ultimately it will be good for them. The medicine is nasty. No, it's not good, but it's going to help them. And he said, but your heart is hurting while you're giving it to him. You don't enjoy inflicting pain on him. And God reminded me of the verse in Psalms 103 that says, like as a father pitieth his children, so the Lord pitieth them that fear him. And that just touched my heart that while I'm hurting, while I'm going through this pain, God is hurting with me. He's not enjoying the fact that, there's so much in my life that hurts. He doesn't enjoy that. It hurts him to watch me go through it. He is hurting for me. He's right there with me. It says in the Bible that Jesus went through everything and was tempted, but also went through all those emotions that we go through so that he can understand us. And, I know the question, where is God in all this pain or why would God allow bad things to happen? I know it's a big question, and I know it sounds weird, but I don't think God is making my dad die, but he's allowing him to. And it hurts, and I don't like it. But I know that God will be with me. And that even though I'm going through this and it hurts and I want to just push it away and push the pain away, I'm thankful that God is a good father and that he can hold me while I'm hurting and that he hurts with me. And he understands more than anyone what I'm going through. And I just want to encourage you that if you're going through something right now that is tearing you apart, and if you're depressed and you feel like there's no way I'm ever going to get out of this, Turn to God. Remember that He's your Father and He loves you and He's hurting for you. He doesn't delight in your pain. He allows it, but it hurts Him too. So let God comfort you. Don't push Him away when things hurt. Allow Him in so He can hold you and comfort you. I hope that was a blessing, and I hope you all have a blessed week. Bye.